the blood will dry underneath my nails, and the wind will rise up to fill my sails. So you can doubt and you can hate, but I know no matter what it takes, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming home. Let the rain wash away all the pain of yesterday. I know my kingdom awaits, and they've forgiven my mistakes. I'm coming home, I'm coming home. Tell the world I'm coming, still far away from where I belong, but it's always darkest before the dawn.
Greetings, I am Odysseus, the man of twists and turns, and I have finally arrived to the Phaeacians. Finally, I will be able to speak with Alcinous, the king of Phaeacians, and get some help from him to get back home to Ithaca, my homeland.
Alcinous! Hello, stranger. Please, tell me of your desires.
My desire is to tell you a story.
Oh, sit down and do so.
It all started when
You will listen to me.
Listen!
Food and drink aplenty aboard the ship. Keep your hands off all these herds, or we will pay the price. The cattle, the Smifa, belong to an awesome master, Helios, god of the sun. He sees all, hears all things.
So I warned, and my headstrong men complied. But for one whole mouth the south wind blew non-stop. No other wind came, none but the southeast. And as long as our food and ready wine held out, the crew, eager to save their lives, kept hands off the herds. But then, when supplies aboard had all run dry, when the men turned to hunting, forced to range for quarry with twisted hooks, fish, birds, anything they could lay their
This one's
hands
mine.
on. Hunger racked their bellies.
Tonight we feast.
I struck inland, up the island there to pray to the gods. If there's only one way to show me home.
But soon, as I had prayed to all the gods who rule Olympus, down on my eyes they poured a sweet, sound sleep, as Eurycles opened his fatal plan to his friends.
Oh, God, I'm starving to death. God, I haven't eaten in days.
Crewmates, I have devised a plan. Please, do adhere to me. Listen to me, my comrades, brothers in hardship. All ways of dying are hateful to us poor mortals. True, but to die of hunger, starve to death, that's the worst of all. So up with you now, let's drive off the pick of Helios' sleek herds. Slaughter them to the gods who rule the skies up there. If we ever make it home to Ithaca, native ground, erect at once a glorious temple to the sun god, line the walls with hordes of dazzling gifts. But if the sun, inflamed for his long-horned cattle, means to wreck our ship and the other gods pitch in, I'd rather die at sea with one gulp of death than die by inches on this desolate island here.
And so he urged, and shipmates cheered again. At once they drove off the sun god's finest cattle. Close at hand, not far from the blue-prowed ship they grazed, those splendid beasts with their broad brows and curving horns, surrounding them in a ring, they lifted prayers to the gods, plucking fresh green leaves from a tall oak for the rite, since white sterling barley was long gone on the ship. And once they prayed, slaughtered and skinned the cattle, they cut the thigh bones out. They wrapped them around in fat, a double fold sliced clean and topped with strips of flesh. And since they had no wine to anoint the glowing victims, they made libations with water, broiling all the innards, and once they burned the bones and tasted the organs, hacked the rest into pieces, piercing them with splits.
The rest of you blissful gods who never die, you with your fatal sleep, who lulled me in disaster, left on their own, look what a monstrous thing my crew concocted.
The Greeks have slaughtered a cow.
My cattle? What has it done to my cattle? Killed my cattle, my only cattle. Zeus! The Greeks have slaughtered my cattle.
Father Zeus, the rest of your blissful gods who never die, punish them all, the crew of Atreus, son of Odysseus. What an outrage! They killed my cattle, the great joy of my heart, day in, day out, when I climbed the starry skies, when I wheeled back down from the heights to touch earth once more. Unless they pay me back in blood for the butchery of my herd, down I go to the house of the dead and blaze among the dead.
Son, you keep on shining on the deathless god, and mortal man of life to green earth. And as for the guilty ones, why, soon enough, on the wind of sea I'll hit the racing ship. With the white-hot bolt, I'll tear it into splinters.
As soon as I reached our ship at the water's edge, I took the men to task, upgrading each one in turn. But how to set things right, we couldn't find a way. The cattle were dead over. And the gods soon showed us some fateful signs. The hides began to crawl. The meat, both raw and roasted, bellowed out of the spikes, and we heard a noise like a moan of lowing oxen. Yet 6 more days, my eager companions feasted on the cattle of the sun. The pick of the herds they'd driven off, but then, when Corinian Zeus brought us the 7th day, the wind its ceaseless rage dropped at last, and stepping the mast once more, hoisting the white sail, we boarded the ship and launched her, made for open sea. But the storm was coming!
Along 9 days, on the 10th at night, the god cast me up on Aegea, the Calypso's island, home of the dangerous nymph with glossy braids who speaks with a human voice, and she took me in. She loved me. Why cover the same ground again? Just yesterday, here at all, I told you all the rest. You and your gracious wife. It goes against my grain to repeat a tale told once and told so clearly.
My heart is pierced by Cupid, I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor bold. His hair it hangs in ringlets, his eyes as black as coal. My happiness attend him wherever he may go.